The fight for the soul of Bayelsa State during the forthcoming governorship election in November 2023 will be fierce and intriguing as the battle has begun in earnest. For some reasons, the impending battle for the governorship election in Bayelsa State is not just about ambition, but of political and survival dominance and battle for the soul of Bayelsa. Welcome to Standpoint. I am Ademola Lawrence. The election will be more of flexing of political muscles between the incumbent Doyedere and former governor Timi Presiva, a situation that will make the battle very fierce and intriguing. The Bayelsa election is very crucial to the country. The state is important to the economic well-being of the nation and houses many strategic economic infrastructure. It will be the first election, along with Kogi, Imo State, to be held under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Thus, how these elections are handled will certainly set a tone for what is expected in other elections. Although the stage is set for a battle royal in Bayelsa State for the governorship election, the battle is principally between the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressive Congress and other political parties. Joining me to talk about this is Evrada Don Abednego, spokesperson, Bayelsa PDP Campaign Council, and of course, John Idumage, the Director of Social Media, APC Governorship Campaign Council. Welcome, gentlemen, to the show. This is Standpoint.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we're going to have a very interesting conversation today. The conversation, of course, starts with the fact that by November 11, there's going to be an election in Bayelsa, Kogi, and of course, Imo State. Bayelsa is of interest. All the states are of interest, but of course, Bayelsa is also of interest. Why? Because of the economic strategy that it poses for this nation. So it is very important that we hold this kind of conversations as the election comes very close by November 11. Let me start with you. Mr. Evera. First of all, I want you to let us look at the assessment of your party and that of your governor administration since he has been termed the miracle governor. He was termed the miracle governor after David Lyon, actually won that election, but of course, after he got to the Supreme Court, a whole lot of things happened, and he was later declared the governor of the state. But let's look at it. Let's first assess in terms of education, in terms of security, and other likes.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and for the listeners out there who are so passionate about what Bayelsa will turn out to be on November 11. I will say it for free, that we've been lucky to have a governor in the person of Senator Doyedere, who has come with a whole lot of experience in wanting to dispense services that will bring happiness, joy, development to our people. And like you just said, on security, this is one big ticket that we're telling the people that, look, if there is anything we need to look at is security. The question is it true that Bayelsa State is the homeland of all the Jaws? The answer is yes. Is it a central point for all the Niger Delta? Of course, yes. What it implies, therefore, is that anything that goes right in Bayelsa State affects the Niger Delta and, by extension, the country. Knowing full that, of course, we know Bayelsa State contributes so much to the national economy, and therefore, anytime there is a crisis in Bayelsa State, of course, it brings spines and goose skins on the bodies of all persons in Bayelsa State under Doyedere. We have the most peaceful states. The most peaceful state in the country today is Bayelsa State. We challenge all security assessors in this country, including the military and security chiefs that are operating within the Niger Delta. Is there any state in the Niger Delta you compare with Bayelsa State in terms of security? There is none. Across the whole country, none. Why is it so? The reason is because, one, the governor does not play politics with the lives of his people. He has value for the sanctity of life. And number two, he has made the right security investment. How has he been able to do that? The first thing is he has been able to build trust within the rural people, the community, neighborhoods, and security agencies. For the first time in the history of this country, you see a state where policemen sit and they get every information they want. What is happening to our neighborhoods today? There is a near zero crime situation. I will tell people, because anything we say this in national television, so we're asking, when last did you hear a gunshot or a firework, the sound of knockout, which is locally called, in Bayelsa, you can't hear it anywhere. When last did you hear, oh, boys are chasing somebody, they want to stop, or a cultist is running, they don't exist anymore. Why? Because the people have come out as a product of the governor's intention to own up a system by saying our lives must matter. And so, on the other side, security agencies in this country, we know, whether it's the army, navy, police, etc., they lack the prerequisites of operations, logistical failures here and there. But as a government, the Oediri came, he asked the questions, bearing in mind that he's been within the system for a long time. He knew what they wanted, and he has given them the watercrafts, the landcrafts. He gives them the fuel. You know how difficult it is to get diesel now. Ask the Navy, ask the police and the army. The level of support they are getting in Bayelsa, they can't get it anywhere in this country. Why would Bayelsa State be so peaceful? And finally, does the Oediri play politics with security? When we say zero tolerance to crime and security, crime and criminality, it's not about just saying it. This is not a political jargon. It's about demonstrating that, yes, it is possible. And so in Bayelsa State, if you are not ready to live in accordance with the rules, then you must leave the state. Are our people safer? Yes. Are they happier? Yes. When last did you hear somebody was kidnapped? When last did you hear someone is missing? When last did you hear a place was robbed? Not just in Yenegua, within the nooks and crannies of our state. What a wonderful state. The reason is because, in terms of security, first amongst equal. And so, it's our selling point, security. If you talk about education, how do you look at a state like Bayelsa State? The founding fathers of our state wanted Bayelsa State to be, an epitome of modernity, of contemporary society, where we say, oh, people can wake up from Bayelsa State, it's just children, can rise up and say they can go and compete in Lagos, in Kenya, in the United States. Have we made the right investment? I'll tell us for free. Within 3 years and some months, this government, anything I'm saying, let it be verified, this government has built 156 schools. Oh, even with these difficult times, bearing in mind the COVID, the floods, etc. I'm the gentleman here in the studio. We've worked together for about 8 years or more, and he knows everything I'm saying is the truth. Now, 156 schools. Now we're talking about primary school. What about the tertiary institutions in the state? Is it the Bayelsa State Medical University? Go and see the structures there. It will baffle you. That is what we are not beyond the structures. We are talking about giving accreditation to a number of courses that people are saying, how is he doing it? This is a man that means well for the people. Now we have been able to build 8 technical colleges in the 8 local government areas of this. Why? Our intention is to diversify the economy of the state from the mainstay of going with cap in hand, begging for statutory allocation. Why are we doing this? The story is endless, but I tell you for free. In Bayelsa State, the people are saying, let me just say this, the people are saying security is a determining factor. We are saying, Oediri, you've done well. If not for anything, perfect. If we talk of education, fantastic. I didn't go into capacity building. Okay, we are yet to go into infrastructure.
Yeah, so we'll still have a whole lot to talk about. So I will come back to you. Let me come to you, Mr. John. You have said a lot about how the current governor, the current administration, Governor Oediri, has been able to heavily invest in security. And I was reading a report, from APC saying that the security of lives and property is not supposed to be taken for granted in the communities in Bayelsa State. How would you assess, the administration, the Governor Oediri administration, going into the election?
First, let's look at the book of Genesis first. Oediri, I campaigned for him in 2019. This is his manifesto. I wrote about 70% of this manifesto. And I think we made a big mistake. In management, they call, there's a principle they call Peter principle. When you kick somebody, when you promote somebody beyond his level of competence, it begins to have challenges, problems, conflict, and so on. Now, let's establish 3 facts. Number 1, Oediri was never elected by Bayelsans. Oediri, among the 8 local governments that comprise Bayelsa State, he won only Kolukmo Pokma and Sagbama local government. I think he won Sagbama because of our benefactor, Dixon. So he has, from the beginning, Oediri has legitimacy crisis. And in order to fill that legitimacy, that credibility gap, he now resorts to propaganda, go belling.
When you say legitimacy crisis, The Supreme Court eventually...
The Supreme Court, my brother, the Supreme Court did not vote for him. I call him Supreme Court governor. He was never elected by the people. And today, people are very angry that this time around, they will descend on the electoral system and ensure that freely and fairly, they will show him the way out. In fact, this discussion ordinarily shouldn't even take place. Diri is not a governor that came in through the mandate principle. Now, another problem is Diri has used a lot of propaganda. Like you're talking about building 156 schools. These schools were built by his predecessor. In fact, most of the things they parade as their brandish as their achievements are the achievements of Senator Henry Serake Dixon. And I will come to that. Now, when you are campaigning in early election, there must be a manifesto. This manifesto is like, it is a document that tells you the social contract between you and the electorate. We wrote this one. Go through the manifesto. Diri could not even fulfill 1/10. You can take this copy. He could not fulfill 1/10 of the manifesto we wrote for him. Now they are campaigning. Don Evarada, let me ask you, where is the manifesto of Doye Diri? Diri has no vision. He's one of the most clueless governors we have ever had.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry to say that.
No, sir.
Sorry.
You need to take that back.
Yes, yes, okay. Yes, I know that it does not.
No, you need to take that back first.
Okay. The point is that
you need to take that back first.
Okay, so what should I take back?
You don't say somebody is clueless. Just
okay,
yes.
Okay. It's one of the worst governors we have ever had.
You need to take that back.
Okay. So it's one of the governors who has not performed up to our expectations.
Okay, so that's better.
Then look at it. This election is an election that is just a one-man show because Bayelsans will never vote for a man who misappropriates their resources. In fact, there is no governor in Bayelsa State from 1999 till date that has received as much money as Diri. Let me come. Silva was in office for 5 years. He received less than 700 billion. Dixon was in office for 8 years. What he received was 1,050 billion. But in 3 years, in 3 short years, Diri has received 1 trillion naira plus. How did he come by? Number one, Diri, all the works, all the federal jobs they did from the time of Goodluck Jonathan to the time of Silva to the time of Dixon, all those monies were paid to him. 38.4 billion was paid to him. Not only that, the derivation arrears, there is what they call derivation arrears, they were supposed to have paid the oil producing states from 1999 to 2021. Well over 100 billion was also paid to him. There was no accountability. He did not even announce it, and so on. Now, beyond that, this man has consistently taken bank loans. In spite of the humongous amount of money coming to the state, Diri continues to take bank loans, loan after loan, and so on. The latest one he took from the viewpoint of agriculture, when, in 2022, there was massive flood. Yeah. And they took a loan of 8 billion agric loan. And they said he was going to disburse that money to farmers. That money only went into his pocket. We know the property they are buying in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, and so on. Please, let me land. Now, so far, we still have a lot to discuss. There are some ministries Diri is using just this
Mr. John, we still have a lot to discuss.
Just this point.
You still have a lot. You will talk.
There are some ministries Diri uses as conduit pipes. Okay. One of them is agriculture.
All right. Okay.
50 billion so far has been spent without producing a bag of rice.
Okay, no problem. You still have a lot to talk.
Yes. So please, before you continue, this is Silva's manifesto.
Okay.
It should also show you Diri's manifesto, please.
Okay, so there's a lot he has talked about.
Yes.
And, one of the things that one is actually a bit concerned is the amount of loans that's been collected and what are these things being used for. I want to also bring your mind back to the infrastructural state of what Bayelsa is. I went to Bayelsa in 2019. I came to cover an election there. I told you. And it wasn't, that was my first time of being to Bayelsa, but it wasn't something that, you know, probably one would say I was proud of, that this is part of Nigeria. And how, between then, when the governor became, when he was actually declared as governor, and until now, if you look at it, in terms of infrastructure, from data that we gathered, 47% of the state is motorable. 47 of the states, because almost 100% of Bayelsa is riverine. So, but my question is, how is the governor, or what did the governor do, or what is the governor going to do to increase these unmotorable roads, you know, and turn them into motorable roads? And I also want you to take him on when he was mentioning some of those loans that were collected and what they were used for.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. First, I would say that I think my gentleman friend, my brother here, is acting on the basis of bridal hallucinations, but I will forgive him for that because he's not in Bayelsa State. He's totally disconnected. He lives in Port Harcourt. He made himself go into self-exile, so he doesn't know what's happening in the state. Let's say, for example, if you're talking about Bayelsans developing at the pace of our desires, he is from the Nebe brass axis where I come from. All of us who come from Bayelsa East. If there is one thing that is going to be a determining factor, aside security, to the Nebe brass Ogbia people, is the road that is being connected from brass, Nembe, Ogbia. The road was taken from Ogbia to Nembe. His principal was in the saddle for 5 years. He knows. Before the program ends, I will unveil a lot of things that he did, and he said about it. I will do it. But first, I will respect the integrity of his principal and also ensure that I don't demarcate the state by destroying our past leaders and present leaders. Let's go to the main issue. He was approached to conduct an exercise that will lead to the construction of a road. Do you know what he told the people of Nembe and Brass? A road that will connect Ogbia to Nembe and Brass is of no economic value, and therefore he will never do as a governor. Oh, what a pity. Do you know what he does now? He drives from Ogbia to Nembe. And now this governor came and said, no, that's not enough. I will take the roads that will connect the forgotten people of Brass, our people of Brass, who have been forgotten for years, from federal government down to where we are today. As we speak, Setraco was engaged by this governor that is trying to vilify. A job of 52 billion was awarded to Setraco. We are calling because this government runs on the basis of transparency. What have they been able to do? Let me tell you about the mileage. The road is in phases. The first phase is 21 kilometers. And you know what? Constructing the roads towards the depth of the Atlantic, we have done embankment for 21 kilometers. We are currently doing sand filling. We have covered 8 kilometers. He doesn't know. I'm urging him, and of course he should go. Our government will pay for TVC. Your correspondent is there. Let them go and verify. As we are speaking now, dredging is ongoing. Do you know what the people of Brass told the governor a few days ago when we went there for campaigns? They said if there is anything that has happened to them in their existence, except the breath that God gave them, is this road. And for this road, they will continue to support the if there is any means to amend the constitution for a third tenure. Unfortunately, not possible. What are they saying? In Brass, Diri is a goal for security. Diri is a goal for the Nebe Brass Road. In Nebe, where it comes from, is axis. The governor went there about 3 days ago. Do you know what happened? The people said they are waiting whether the other one, his principal, whether he will drive down to Nebe or he will go by helicopter like he used to do when he was a minister of petroleum. The road was constructed by the PDP government, where the Oridiri was a critical stakeholder. The Oridiri came and saw that even the bridge that connects our two ancient kingdoms of Ogbolmebri and Basambri, he said he will not continue with the road that is of no economic value. We wonder why a person that wants to become a governor will consistently say everything that will bring development to his people is of no economic value. What happened there? The Oridiri came and completed what we today call the Unity Bridge. The pride of the Nebe people. And the Nebe people are told the world over, We are waiting for when that other man, I'm not calling his name so that I don't promote him, when he's going to come to Nibe, whether he's going to come by whichever means. Now, because we're talking about infrastructure, he's talking about loans. And I will tell us for free. The people of Bayelsa State resolved, mark my words, the Traditional Rulers Council met and told the governor, you did not only start in a good path, you are following the patterns that are going to give us the best things. And therefore, anything that is going to be an obstacle will stand with you to kick it away. Go and use the resources of the state the way you're using, and where you have challenges, go for loan. The House of Assembly has said same. Opinion leaders have said, and let me so add, members of the other political parties, including his, because you will say later that he's not a member of the APC, including his, they've all hold hands together to say, dear governor, anything you can do to advance the development of the state, the way you're going, keep doing it. And therefore, taking a loan is not a bad thing. Is it here in Lagos where we are? Is it nationally? Is it a good state?
Of course.
The question is, when you take a loan, are you using it for the betterment of the people? And we ask now, how much has Doediri taken? I will add it for free before I close, because I don't like taking much time. Look at it. His principal was the governor of Bayelsa State from 2007 to 2012. Former President Goodluck Jonathan handed over the state to him. When President Goodluck Jonathan was living as a governor in Bayelsa State, the debt bill of the state was 27 billion. When his principal came and took the saddle of leadership, within 5 years, the debt bill of the state rose to 162 billion. And that is about 39%, like 390%. You see, sometimes we are so insensitive, but my worry is, I'm not surprised that he's so agitated by calling names. He is so disconnected. He is not in Bayelsa State. He does not know what is happening.
Because you have given him a lot of time. No. I'm sure you will do same.
Of course, I'll do same to you. I'll do same to you. So, you know, a lot of things that you have also brought up in the course of your analysis.
Yes.
And by saying that this other party didn't do well when they were in government and stuff. But I just want us to maintain calling of names.
No.
You know,
yeah.
and, you know, it is very, very, very important.
Yeah.
But going forward, your principal, former Governor Timi Peresiva,
yes,
was the former governor of the state.
Yes, from 2007
to 2012.
Or is that 12?
Yeah, that's like 5 years.
Yes.
So my question would be, some persons have said he was also a former minister of state and
fantastic, yes.
Resources, petroleum resources.
You are right.
Why coming back to contest an election?
Can I correct one impression?
All right.
Don Evarada has spewed a lot of lies. As at the time Dixon came in as governor, the debt profile was 257 billion. He did not join the government early. You remember, he was also part of us later, much later. He reduced this heavy debt plus a bond. Now, this money was the cumulative debt from the time of Alame's here, Goodluck Jonathan, and Silva. It was not just Silva that was owing this amount of money. In fact, part of what they used to campaign for the big man was sourced from there. Now, by the time Dixon left office, he was able to reduce the debt burden up to 123 billion. Now, about 6 months after Diri took office, the debt burden skyrocketed to 179 billion. The facts are there. You know, I came with some papers because of that. Now, that aside, he's talking about, he's painting, it's like somebody in El Dorado, a la Shangri-La, where everything is fine and so on. Let me take it over just one. As at 2019, about the time Dixon was leaving office, the National Bureau of Statistics released a figure that Bayelsa State was, the poverty rate of Bayelsa State was 23%. Dixon was agitated. He had to engage some of the youths in direct labor and so on. Today, this year, the National Bureau of Statistics has come up with a figure that Bayelsa, 88.5% of Bayelsans are poor. This figure is not from me. Google it, you will see it. Let me tell you, Diri calls his administration prosperity government. But he has succeeded in doing so much damage, especially taking loans. I can count the number of projects Diri has abandoned. Projects which ordinarily would have been sustainable, projects that would have given us a lot of money, projects that would have created employment. Let me mention a few of them. Before he came, Dixon constructed a multi-billion naira cassava processing plant at Ebedebiri. He has abandoned it. Silva established the first industry in Bayelsa State, the Bayelsa Plastic Industry Limited. He abandoned. I'm told that he even sent some people to remove some of the machines. This one I'm talking about, ask any Bayelsan. He said he was going to spend 500 million naira to refurbish it. Employment letters were even given out. But lo and behold, nothing happened. The aquaculture village at Igbogene, which Dixon left as a legacy for him, he also abandoned it. The Bayelsa Transport Terminal, which Dixon built, which he completed, has been abandoned. The Bayelsa Drug Distribution Company has been abandoned. So many businesses are closing in Bayelsa State. Okay. Wait, just wait. The EU spent $4 million to produce water to ensure that the taps are flowing. Where did the money go? The money found its way into their private pockets. See, let me tell you something.
Can you not answer my question?
Before we go ahead, before I answer your question, okay. We are cataloging the properties they are buying in Lagos, in Abuja, in Qatar, okay, and so on. Okay. We will hold, when he leaves office, we shall hold him accountable. I'm not mentioning him again. Okay. We shall hold him accountable to the last kobo. See, the campaign we are talking about is just a walkover. He is not campaigning. There's nothing for him to campaign about.
Okay, all right, no problem. There's still a lot to talk about.
Yes,
no, hold on. We'll come back to it.
Yes.
There's still a lot to talk about. This is standpoints. What we'll come back, we'll see X-raying some of the things, of course, projects and APC and PDP win electorate as the election come close by November 11th. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to the show. This is Standpoints, where we're discussing Bayelsa election, of course, which is coming up on 11th of November. And I have in the studio with me the APC Director of Social Media, John Idumage, and of course the spokesperson for the PDP Campaign Council, talking about Everardon Abednego. But before we went on break, I was asking Mr. John. I was asking you a question. I just wanted you to go straight to the point because there's a lot you still need to talk about.
You still want to give him time?
That question, I
just want him to answer this question. And I said that your principal was a former governor.
Yes.
Was a former minister.
Yes.
And some persons have said, why coming back to contest again? You should have just, Bayelsa politicians should embrace new blood to come into the Bayelsa politics.
When you talk of new blood, I don't know what you mean. This man did, initially he was elected. A year after, the appeal court nullified his election.
Yeah.
And he contested again and won. You see, this man is very popular. Forget about the stories you hear all over the place. Now, we have the stakeholders knowing the sorry state of the state. You see, when you are driving into Yenagoa, there is this sinking feeling. It's as if you are going into a fishing pot. Sometimes I weep in the night. That why is there upon the billions coming into the state? We are still like this. One road. Even the road is talking about, wait.
Hold on, sir. Hold on, Mr. John. I told you I went to cover election.
You did not go to Bayelsa.
Hold on, sir.
Do you know Angala?
Hold on, sir. I'm the moderator.
Yes.
So I went to, I
told you Yenagoa.
I came to Bayelsa in 2019.
Yenagoa?
So, yes.
Not Bayelsa?
Yes. Yes. Entering Yenagoa, just like you said,
yes.
Entering Yenagoa, there's this nostalgia that you have. Is this part of Nigeria? So, but that's in 2019. That was Seraki Dixon was the governor.
Nothing had changed, my brother.
No, I'm saying Seraki Dixon was the governor.
Yes.
So, would you want to paint that particular, because of that, you still want to paint it on the same, the current governor?
No, what we are saying is that As at the time Sedake Dixon left office, certain infrastructure were put in place, but now it has deteriorated.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me come to you. You know, you mentioned education, and I wanted to take you up on that in terms of education. The Federal Ministry of Education in January this year, it says out of 20 million out-of-school children across Nigeria, Bayelsa State has one of the highest. That was in January 2023. And of course, one of the things that were discussed at that particular forum was the fact that the state should encourage a compulsory primary and secondary education, which the State Assembly has enacted a law in 2018. So they are advising them to do that. You know, so, but if you look at it, how has the government been able to fare in terms of education? Education, they say, is the bedrock of any nation, you know, and education is very important. How do you think that the government of your government has been able to fare in terms of education, and what are the things that the government is still doing, or probably what are the things he's going to do if he probably eventually becomes a governor again?
Not about if he's going to be, so it's when he becomes. I will know the date is February 14th, but keep that apart. Before I even delve into answering the question of education, I will say a few things. This election is about records. You asked a very fantastic question, and he dodged it. Where are the records of your principal? He was a governor. Where are the big-ticket projects, life-changing projects that he planted in Bayelsa State? For folks to see, please, respect yourself. You are getting too agitated. Don't do that. You see, you must understand certain things. You were a governor for 5 years in Bayelsa State, and you were the holding minister of petroleum. Where are the things that you planted in your state? That when you get to Bayelsa State, they can say, oh, the former governor, call his name. I will not call him so I don't make it popular here. We don't call his name there because, you know, where are the in health? There is just one thing you will talk about that government. Diete Koki Memorial Hospital. And it was a conduit of fraud. Leave that apart. I said I don't want to come here and run down my state. He knows. I will also read things that Dr. Idumagi said about that project here against his principal. Before I go forward, let me also mention, he said, the worst thing that has happened to the people of Bayelsa State is for his principal becoming a governor. That the man came with a baggage of destruction for the entire Ijaw nation. Please hold on. I told you if you prompt me, I will reveal things. I will read all of them and quote the dates and the venue, the newspaper, the television station. Wait, please. But I said, I don't want to open the Pandora's box. If you claim to me very simply, leave that apart. I said there is nothing to show. And we said this election is about records. And I said in security, we are the best. I wanted him to contravene me. He never did. The world is listening. That Bayelsa State is the most peaceful. He said nothing. And I also said, in terms of critical infrastructure, like creating the 3 major interior roads, one taking from Sagbama to Ekremo, which our target is get to Agay. The other ones were Inegwa to Poroma to Okubie, and the one from Ogwea, Nembe, and Brass. Has he been able to mention one that his government did? For 5 years, he was as a governor, and as a minister of petroleum, the most sumptuous ministry. He brought nothing to our people, not even a single thing. Why won't our people say no? But come back to education. I said a few things about education before you cut in and brought him in. I said we have been able to build 156 primary and secondary schools, excluding renovation notes. And I also said here on site, because the world is listening, this is a new age. Send your correspondence. And other media stations should send their correspondences down. Let their correspondence go down and verify. Number 2, I did say that we have been able to build 8 technical colleges in each local government. I want him to contravene it. Let your people go and verify. We have not just built it, equipping them with the modern facilities that will advance the cost of learning for our youths. 3, let me go further to say, I said we have the Bayelsa State Medical University. It is not just a university, it's a medical university. All accredited courses have been given a yes answer. And go further. You see magnificent buildings there. Auditoriums, lecture halls, theaters, all of that has been built. I told you, my friend here, my friend, My friend that we held hands in glove together, he has gone to the other side. We are saying things that are so vague, and because it does not stay in Yenekwa. But go further to say, in Toronto University of Africa, yes, it was built by the immediate past governor, Senator Harry Sirake Dixon. When you go to that university and you see the new structures that have been planted there, and all courses accredited, ask him when last did he go, because he is out of Bayelsa State. He's in touch with reality. Let's go further. You go to the College of Education, Otogidi, College of Health Sciences, Otogidi. Go and see new structures, all courses accredited. Should I continue? Then go to Nigeria Delta University and see the fantastic roads that this government has been able to plant. A few days ago, I was with their factional chairman in the States on a different television station, and he said for the past 10 years, a single dot of penny has not been appropriated by the Bayelsa State government or the PDP for education. And the whole world said, oh, even this? And that is what he has also come. Why have you come to align with a team of liars, including you? But please, for Christ's sake, go to Bayelsa State and see what is happening. The Ekremo people and some people are saying, if there is anything that is going to determine the outcome of this election, is that road. Do you know what happened to the road? Because he said that most of the things we're doing are a continuation. Beautiful. Government should be a continuum. Yes. But look at it. Henry Sirake Dixon, my good friend and brother, he built the road to a level, and do you know what happened? A few years ago, the flood came, swept off everything. The two bridges he built, and the road that he took to a very far ahead. We had to start afresh. Because, let me just say this, please.
Okay.
All of that was gone, and this government came and started afresh.
Okay.
Built 6 bridges, completed the other 2, reconstructed them, and built a 42-kilometer road. As we speak, the people of Ekremo are saying,
okay,
if there is anything they will lean on to determine the outcome of this election. He said, don't. All what I'm saying is records.
Okay.
Records.
All right.
Let him mention the records.
Okay, sir.
So that I don't saturate the public space with lies.
Can we just hold on, sir? Hold on. Can we also agree that we just let we take it one step after the other, okay, so that we don't interject, and so that yes, the audience and the people can hear us, our viewers can hear us. Let me come to you, Mr. John. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to how former Governor Timi Presiva, yes, governed during his term, yes, as a former governor. Yes. I just want you to, just highlight it. So, because those are some of the things that the electorate are also going to be looking at.
Okay, thank you.
Do you understand? Those are some of the things that electorate are also going to be looking at in terms of if they are going to choose whoever they want to choose.
No, they have chosen him. Now,
no, they have not chosen
yet. Let me correct one impression. Don has spoken a lot about 99% of what he has spoken. Just rabble-rousing. Now, you say, let me ask you a question. You say government is investing in education, but out-of-school children is increasing. It's rising in the state. Female enrollment is diminishing. Funding has diminished to such a level that so many children sit down on the floor to learn. I am so shocked. Farada, you are a PhD holder. I am your senior, but let's be factual. The schools he's talking about, Bayelsa Medical University was established by Dixon. Diri has not established any school.
Speak on your records.
He's making efforts to establish technical colleges.
Speak on your records.
That is number one. Now, talking about Silva, thank God I came with this in. Silva awarded scholarships, overseas scholarships abroad. Is it to Malaysia? Is it to India? Is it to Ukraine, Russia, and so on? He was paying bursary constantly. As at that time, he accredited all the courses in NDU. Unlike what is happening now. Now they give them grants, but Silva fully funded all the institutions we have in the state. He also established other centers of excellence. Some he did not complete before he left office. Now, beyond that, Silva established the law school. The law school is single-handedly established it. The law school today is one of the infrastructure are really down on that day. But there was a time a wicked went there and they salted the school. And he said he was going to donate 5 billion naira for them to upgrade the facilities in that school. Sometimes when he say, I went to Bayelsa, you only went to Yenagua. Do you know Angalabri? No. Do you know Akasa? No. Do you know Agrisaba? No. that Benga Areloba some time ago made that mistake that I've been going to Bayelsa. You only went to Yenagua. You have not gone to the hinterland, the interior. You know nothing about it. So if I'm telling you something, I expect you to respect my opinion. I'm a university lecturer, I'm an activist, I'm an arbitrator.
So when I tell you that I came into
if you say Yenagua,
Bayelsa,
it's okay.
When I say I came into Bayelsa, if I say I went to Yenagua, it doesn't mean that it was only Yenagua I went to.
It's okay.
I went to David Lyons, where David Lyons actually voted.
It's okay. That is, by the way.
It doesn't.
Now we are talking about schools.
No, we're talking about the records of your.
Yes, thank God I came with. There are 44 projects.
Okay.
These 44 projects were executed. Can you give me 2 minutes to read them?
By the time I'm going to cut you, just continue to read.
So, Silva, the judiciary complex, he completed it. Banquet hall, he completed it. The Tulip Hotel, which is the best hotel owned by government, it's a partnership between, he completed it. He completed the Treasury building. He completed the Revenue building. He completed the Transparency Plaza, which is by far the most expensive building. It's a 3-arm plaza. He completed it, and so on. I cannot go on and on to read. Silva never abandoned any project. In fact, it was his intention to establish, apart from the Bayelsa plastic industry, he was at the verge of establishing a waste management industry in the Bahrain area before he was removed from office. In terms of projects, you see, Bayelsa State had light when Silva was there. He said, I don't go to Yenagua. I live in Yenagua.
No, you don't.
Every week, I spend 2-3 days in Yenagua. For the past, I went to Yenagua on Wednesday. I came back only yesterday. As if the distance between Port Harcourt and the Yenagua is from here to Oklahoma. We draw that assertion. There's no part of the state I don't go to. Nembe, see, the roads he's talking about, Nembe Brass Road, that road was introduced specifically to buy the votes of the Nembe-speaking people. It is not in the budget. Before you execute a project, that project must be in the budget. It did not put it in the budget. Oh, you just remember that, the Nembe Brass people, I need their votes. Let me go and sandfill and so on. And it was, most of these projects are projects of the federal government. Even if it does it, the federal government will come and pay.
Even if
the Sagbama-Keremo Road is a road constructed by Dixon. He constructed that road. The 6 bridges he's talking about, I am an insider. I even have the handover note of Governor Dixon to David Lyon. All these roads were constructed. The Yenagoa Oporomo Road was started by Silva. But because of militancy, they were destroying the equipment and so on. They abandoned it. Dixon came. Dixon also pushed that road very far. And Diri is continuing with it. It's a continuity. Diri cannot appropriate the goodwill and the legacy of the past leaders. That is what is annoying. It is a road. All these are federal roads. The Sagbama-Keremo Road is a federal road. The Nembe Brass Road is a federal road. Good enough. When the NDDC Shell partnership was there, I was a manager in NDDC. I was there in 2005 when that partnership agreement was signed. He knows nothing about it. You see, when you come to the studio, produce facts and what? Figures. I'm mentioning facts and figures. Loans they have taken. Diri is a complete, the governor we have now, he has squandered both the resources of our people. He has also squandered the goodwill of our people. As far as I'm concerned, we have only one candidate that is running. All we will require him to do very soon is to prepare his handover note, and we will not renew his tenancy in Creek Haven. Never. Even children are complaining. Their schools are bastardized. Anytime flood comes, have you seen a situation where there was flood last year? People brought food items, drugs as well. The man, instead of giving the food to the people, he hoarded this food. Palliative has come again. Subsidy palliative. The money has come. In River State, they opened a portal for people to apply. Some get 50,000, some get 30,000, depending on your pedigree. In Bayelsa State, nothing like that has happened. And that is the man that is campaigning. Who is he campaigning for? Poverty is ravaging the land. Hunger. Hunger we have never seen before. If the National Bureau of Statistics can come up with a figure of 88.5% of Bayelsans are poor, and you are here talking. Please, let's conclude this dinner. Silva is the next governor.
Okay, so I'm going to play.
He was just one more thing. He was talking about security. His king was deposed by Governor Diri. He is a chief in that company, Otokpoti. His king, ask him, is it true or false? Your king, the king of Otokpoti, was deposed, was dethroned by Doediri, and you say he's a man of peace. Peace what? About 3 days ago, he went to Nembe and virtually threatened the Mingi of Nembe. Let me tell you, the kingship of Nembe is equivalent to that of...
Okay, so...
Thank you. I'm sorry that I overshot my mark.
Okay, you know that you overshot your mark.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to be asking this question, and the question is for both of you.
Yes.
I know the time you...
Hold on.
I'm going to respond to some of the issues.
You will respond. But we actually do not have more time. But so if you're going to do, just be very brave. But the question is, has to do with former President Goodluck Jonathan.
Okay.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan, I remember, it's on record. It's on record that when your principal was contesting in 2019, that's why I say it's on record. I didn't say so. It said he never supported the current governor. And because he's a PDP member. But since during President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure, he has been obnobbing with the APC. I mean, the former president. How do you think that his obnobbing this time around still with the APC is going to affect, by any way, going to affect the candidacy of your principal? If not, why do you think so?
Well, let me quickly say that former President Goodluck Jonathan is a respected person globally. He's the best Ijaw son we have today, and all over the world. And therefore, I would not want to address issues that undermine his integrity, because we know him. He's a straightforward man. A few days ago, he organized a conference, his foundation organized a conference where the whole world converged in Yenegua. When he saw the governor who went to take the keynote address, do you know what he said? He said, my junior brother, Diri, what is that magical wand you're using to turn the state around in terms of peace and infrastructural development? And the governor laughed and said, I'm taking it after you. And late Chief Dr. Melford Okilo. And the whole place, everyone stood up. He was not there. They stood up and gave him a standing ovation because it was a straight talk. Now, come to the very critical issues that we're discussing. Like I said here, that our government will try as much as possible, even in these campaigns, not to vilify members of the other side. But we will discuss on the issues. And I did say that on the basis of infrastructure, our people in Bayelsa State would vote for Governor Doediri for a second term. Southern Ijaw is the largest and most populated local government by our own judgment as a people. It is also the most marginalized in this country. They've never seen roads. It is this PDP government that started. Not really, he likes telling lies anyway. A few days, with due respect, he likes saying things that are not factual. He did start by saying that his principal, I will not mention the name, started the road that is going to Puruma and Southern Nigeria. That is shameful. It was former President Goodluck Jonathan who started it. But don't worry, I will leave it there. And then former Governor Dixon came and took it to Igebiri. And then our governor came and said, we're taking it to Puruma and Okubie. And that's why we're talking today. The company that is handling that project is CCECC. It's a Chinese company with standards and reputes. What have they been able to do? Let me tell you also the figure of the contract so that you know. We don't just say things. The value of that contract is 20 billion. As we're speaking now, the road is at Agobri. The bridge has crossed at Agobri is hitting to Puruma. We have made a temporary bridge as recommended by the technical expertise of the company. And then dredging is ongoing to Puruma. The people of Southern Nigeria are saying, if there are things that are going to determine, one, security, number two, that road. Why am I mentioning road as part of our ticket? We're saying, look, except the people of Southern Nigeria are also connected to the rest part of the world. As Bayelsans, as Ijaws, we have not done anything good. Now, let's talk, what is it doing in terms of security and capacity building? Because our campaign is actually hinged on three things. Number one, security. Number two, capacity building for the youth. Who are the leaders of today and the future? What has this government been able to do?
He also talked about the manifesto.
Yes, let me just, no, don't worry, I'll come to that.
Okay. In just a few minutes, so that we can round up. He asked about the manifesto.
Don't worry, it's not his place to ask. Yeah. If you go to Bayelsa State and you ask, what is happening that the state is so peaceful? I did say a few moments ago that, look, in Bayelsa State, you don't see boys going to cultism anymore. Every young Bayelsa now is engaged. That document that talks about Bayelsa State being the headquarters of poverty is misconstrued. Let me tell you for free. A few days ago, you can Google your National Bureau for Statistics. They will tell you Bayelsa State in the Niger Delta is the second state with the least rates of unemployment. Check it. Now, when you check in the whole country, Bayelsa State is about the least in terms of unemployment. Now, how do you juxtapose these two things? One is poverty capital, and the other one, it has a very high level of employment. And let me tell you, in Bayelsa State, day after day, even as we're speaking, our young boys and girls, folks, our wards, are engaged in capacity building programs, learning how to drive, how to become artisans, in ICT, in tailoring. In all of these, they are employing people on their own. We did not just train these people, or we are training them now. No. When we train them, we give them starter packs. Okay. I will also engage experts where they are monitoring and evaluating. See, what we need to do, in the midst of this, all this...
Let's just run them. You asked me a question to go and verify, and I verified. 85%, 88.5%.
I just of unemployment.
Poverty. Data. Poverty.
I said unemployment. But anyways, unemployment rate, what is it?
No. Hold on, sir. We're talking about good luck, and that is, of course, that's how we're going to round up.
Okay.
So I just keep, please, just in 30 seconds.
Okay.
In 30 seconds.
Good luck, Jonathan. He said that Jonathan is a statesman. How can you praise a governor when there is no road to his community?
He's not aware. There's a road going to Turkey from Onobu.
It does not.
The road is going to be ready in 2 weeks' time. That road is going to be ready. So you're not correct.
Simpliciter. The excess crude oil they have collected, the derivation areas of about 100
Where are the records of your principal? Where are the records of your principal?
All the records they have collected.
You can't come and tell us where are the records of your principal? Where are the records?
20 seconds more.
In education, in health, in agriculture, in infrastructure.
On the 24th of February, when Silva takes office, we may not probe them.
All right.
We'll recover whatever we
have. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We'll
recover all.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been an interesting one here on political standpoint, where, of course, we had APC and PDP, who their residents ahead of the election coming up in November 11th. It's been an interesting one. That's our show for today. My name is Ademola Lawrence. Join us next week as we bring you another interesting one. But there's going to be a repeat by 11 p.m. this night and 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. And it's going to be an interesting one next week. Bye for now.